Hey, folks, Doug Blake with Body Design University. In this video, I want to talk to you about the thumbless grip. Now, I'm always asked about, different techniques and ways to increase the effect of a specific exercise, and one of those techniques is known as the thumbless grip. Now, if you've done pressing movements, bench presses with a bar or even dumbbells, you've probably had to make a decision. Do you put your thumb around it, right? So I'll just use this as an example. A thumbed grip, or do you put your thumb back around this way? This is what's known as the thumbless grip. And I remember many years ago when I first started training, started as a power lifter, and the idea with powerlifting obviously is to lift very heavy weights, right? And I remember training with a couple of folks, and one guy had told me, he said, use a thumbless grip during your training, but when you go to do the actual, if you're going to be in a competition or you're going to try a max lift or whatever, always use your thumb. It seemed kind of odd to me, and so I adopted both type. I would do thumbless pressing movements, and then I would do thumb. And the reality is that if you're an athlete or you're somebody that actually knows how to train or has a fair amount of training time underneath your belt, you can train any way you want. You can use whatever grip you want. However, let's fast forward. Once I started training people, the average person with little to no exercise experience, it became more a matter of not what was better, right? I can do bench presses one way or shoulder presses one way, and then I can make it more effective, right? By changing the grip position or whatever, which, to be honest with you, has little to no effect. But it became more of a function of safety. So, irrespective of what you're doing, you personally, as an athlete, as a lifter, do whatever you want. It's not as safe to do a thumbless grip as it is to do a thumb grip. One of the reasons people will go with a thumbless is because it feels a little bit better or a little bit more comfortable. I am definitely one of those. Putting my thumb around the bar to do it, it doesn't hurt, but it feels more comfortable to do a thumbless grip. Okay, well, I have a choice then, thumbless or thumb. But when you're dealing with clients, okay, safety becomes the primary variable. So for all of those students that ask me these questions and folks that ask me questions when I'm training about, well, is this better? And I'm putting that in quotes, is this better than, you see my thumb going around it now? The answer is, I don't know if it's better or not. Biomechanically, I don't know, maybe there is a little bit of a benefit this way or that way. I don't really know, to be honest with you. But what I do know is that sometimes when I do it like this, it feels a little bit more comfortable in my wrist and the thumb, but that's irrelevant. It's irrelevant because the true variable that is the deciding variable for this is safety. And at the end of the day, if you're holding a bar with a thumbless grip, the bar that you're holding can easily slip off. Maybe you got sweat on your hands, or just by taking your wrist and rotating it this way, whoop, there goes the bar. So the thumbless grip forces you, number one, to extend the wrist to maintain the bar, right? The bar keeping it in your palm versus a thumbed grip where if you've got the thumbed grip, it's not, the tendency is not for it to slip out of your hand. So you can actually watch this instead of extending the wrist like this on a thumbless grip, which is kind of what you have to do. If I take a thumbed grip, probably better do it this way, right? Thumbed grip, I can actually flex my wrist a little bit more and have a better biomechanical position with the line of force going straight through the forearm, so to speak. So without getting too biomechanically technical on that, it's probably better even from a biomechanical perspective. The point is, I don't want to get off on that part of it. I want to focus on the most important thing here, which is safety. At the end of the day, whether you're holding dumbbells or a barbell, you definitely want to consider safety with your clients. And that means do not do a thumbless grip with your clients during pressing movements. And yes, shoulder presses, bench presses, incline presses, and yes, even with dumbbells. If you want me to do another video on dumbbells, I got a little idea that I use when I'm using straps for my back training. I actually use straps when I use dumbbells, and if you want me to do a video on that, put it in the comment section below, and I can definitely throw that in there for you folks. But what's the takeaway lesson here? Don't do a thumbless grip. I don't care if my client says, "Well, I like doing it thumbless." Okay, well, you're training with me, and because I'm overseeing the safety of the technique and the exercises, you're going to do it with a thumbed grip, right? And by the way, your clients are paying you money. You are the exercise professional. And I hope that makes sense. Again, we have to differentiate, and I will acquiesce to this. If you're dealing with athletes, people that have been doing this for a while, if you're training me, okay, I can go thumbed or thumbless, but if I'm going really heavy, I'm going to go thumb. But if I'm just doing reps, I'm going thumbless. So don't tell me to go thumbed if I'm your client, if I have a fair amount of experience in doing this. 99.99% of your clients are novices. And if they're not novices time wise, they don't have the training time underneath their belt to make certain decisions like that. So I always err on the side of caution and safety. Got it? Let me know if this video was helpful. Type the word understand in the comment section below. If there's another subject related to this, well, it doesn't even have to be related to this, that you would like me to do a video on, please go ahead and put it in the comment section. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, of course. Share the video if you want as well. It's not just fitness professionals that can benefit from this type of information. We're here to help you out. Have a great week. We will see you next week. Bye.